Welcome to the Fate of Ukraine channel. Russian media was shocked. Explosions were heard only 150 kilometers from Moscow. Russia's Kaluga governor, Vladislav Shapsha, stated that an unmanned aerial vehicle attacked near the capital Moscow. After these statements, the Kremlin gave a red alert. All air defense systems near Moscow were activated. Putin himself gave the order. Shoot! Russian media stated that a drone attack was carried out at a distance of 150 kilometers from Moscow. The incident, which took place in the vicinity of Moscow, is stated as the closest attack on the Russian capital so far. Video circulating on Ukrainian and Russian social media shows the explosion. It is not known exactly what the drone's target was. According to the first reports, local sources state that the explosion occurred at an altitude of about 50 meters from the ground. Official Russian sources said the drone was last seen over a Russian military base. However, it is not known whether the drone damaged the military base. 2 drone strikes were also found in the Kaluga Oblast, near the Russian military airport Shayakovka, according to the latest information cited by local sources. Shayakovka Airport is located approximately 150 kilometers from the capital. It was quite surprising to see unmanned aerial vehicles in this region. Last month, Russian government facilities in the capital, including those near the home of Russian President Vladimir Putin, were seen equipped with air defenses. However, despite the Russian defense systems, the UAV reached the Moscow region. On the other hand, a major blow was dealt to the Russian reconnaissance groups. Russian troops, who wanted to monitor the massive operation of the Ukrainian army on the southern front, were hit. 2 boats in the south of Ukraine also attempted to infiltrate to find out the positions of the Ukrainian troops. Also, the 2 reconnaissance groups got pretty close to the Ukrainian troops. Natalia Humeniuk, head of the Joint Press Center of the Defense Forces in the south of Ukraine, made some statements. Humeniuk, we are aware that Russian troops have not left the south. Russian soldiers remain their priority. Quite strong forces have been deployed on our southern front before. We see that both land reconnaissance and air reconnaissance continue, the Ukrainian spokesperson said. On the eastern front, the Ukrainian army officially started the big operation. Ukrainian artillery and special forces increased their attacks on Svatovo and Kremenaya. The Ukrainian armed forces officially increased its attacks on Svatovo and Kremenaya. After the Russian army launched an intense offensive in the Lymansky direction, the Ukrainian army launched a very strong counterattack. Ukrainian artillery began to strike the Svatovo and Kremenaya areas. Then, HIMARS systems hit all Russian positions before Ukrainian special forces entered the area. At the moment, Ukrainian special forces are also expected to enter the region. The most modern main battle tanks of the Ukrainian army began to be deployed in the Kharkiv region. Local sources also state that the T-84U Oplot tanks, which are domestically produced by the Ukrainian side, will go to Donbas Oblast. Military experts state that the T-84 tanks are simply better than other Soviet-made tanks in all terrain conditions. It is also expected that Ukrainian troops will use these tanks for their offensive on the eastern front in the near future. There are great developments in Bakhmut, the symbol of resistance. Clashes intensified in the Ukrainian city, which the Russians could not take down. Clashes in the city, which gave hope to the Ukrainians that we will win the war and which was known as Bakhmut Castle, reached its peak. It was headlined by the British press that the Battle of Bakhmut Fortress has reached the critical stage. At the moment, the Russian side has also made a major attack on the Bakhmut region. Although Kiev has not yet been confirmed, the mercenary groups fighting with the Russian army stated that they made progress in the region. Bakhmut could be the worldwide topic of the coming weeks, because it may cause Russia, which is said to be preparing for an all-out ground operation, to gain a psychological advantage. Ukraine's defense minister had previously said that they expect a new Russian attack in the coming days. Alexei Reznikov, who held a press conference, stated that all the weapons sent by his Western allies would not have arrived by then, but that they had sufficient reserves to hold the Russian forces. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukrainian forces engaged in heavy fighting in Bakhmut, Volodar, and Lyman in the east. The defense minister stated that Ukrainian soldiers will start training with German-made Leopard tanks from today. Reznikov also announced that his country has received new missiles with a range of 150 kilometers. However, the Ukrainian military also stated that the new long-range missiles will not be used against Russian soil. On the other hand, both Ukraine and Russia left the war. Both sides mobilized to bring aid to Turkey. Turkey has officially woken up to a nightmare because of the earthquakes today. Messages of support for the Turkish people are coming from the international community. High-level figures from many countries, from the United States to Israel, from India to Ukraine, made statements and announced that they were ready to send aid. United States responded to the calls for help after the earthquake disaster. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan made a statement about the incident. U.S. President Biden is considering assistance options for earthquake-affected areas in Turkey and Syria, instructing other federal government partners, the statement said. In the statement, it was also stated that there was a deep concern about the devastating earthquake and the information. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg made a statement after the 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Kahramanmaraş. NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg said in a statement on his social media account that NATO allies mobilized aid and said, "We are in full solidarity with Turkey, an ally, after this terrible earthquake. I am in contact with Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. Now, NATO allies are mobilizing for aid," he said. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky stated that his country is ready to offer the necessary assistance to the friendly Turkish people after the earthquake that hit Turkey this morning. Russian President Vladimir Putin conveyed a message of condolence to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan for those who lost their lives in the 7.7 magnitude earthquake, the epicenter of which was the Pazarcik district of Kahramanmaraş. According to the statement made by the Kremlin Palace, Putin sent a telegram to Erdogan because of the Kahramanmaraş-centered earthquake. Israeli President Isaac Herzog published a message of condolence for those who lost their lives in the Kahramanmaraş-centered earthquake and announced that Israel is ready to help. After the 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Kahramanmaraş, the epicenter of the earthquake, First Lady Olena Zelenska, the wife of President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, shared a message addressing Emin Erdogan and said, "Emin Erdogan, we are with you and we are ready to help you in any way possible." After the 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Kahramanmaraş, the epicenter of the earthquake, First Lady Olena Zelenska, the wife of President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, shared a message addressing Emin Erdogan and said, "Emin Erdogan, we are with you and we are ready to help you in any way possible." In her message, First Lady Zelenska said, "Despite our own tragedy, our thoughts and prayers are with Turkey today. Emin Erdogan, we are with you and ready to help in any way possible. My condolences to those affected by the disaster. Ukraine is with you," she said. We'll see what happens in the coming days. We have come to the end of another video. You can like the video to support us. By subscribing, you can easily follow new videos. See you.